What's up, Vikings? This is Kaizar, and today we're going to look at another drama post called Call Attention to Some Bullying and Harassment. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, H Powers, I would consider her one of my friends. I don't actually talk to H Powers a lot, but she's one of the most mature people on the forums for sure. Always keeps it very clean and very nice. And so I was kind of surprised when a lot of drama came off her post, but not because of the content of the post. So the content of the post is about a friend of hers that has apparently been bullied on School of Dragons. That's actually surprisingly common. I'm not surprised at all. And so she points out some users that were doing the bullying and asks other people to be wary and careful about this. I'm just going to say right off the bat, it's kind of a tricky thing when you're trying to do something for a friend because you don't know what the friend did. I had a friend once I was in Warzone, the clan Warzone, and I had a friend that was the leader of Warzone, and I thought she was really nice, and I was upset when people would bully her. But then I realized that she did lots of bullying and mean stuff herself. So I mean, it was kind of justified. And so I kind of regretted sticking up for her in that case. So I think H Powers has to be kind of careful to stick up for a friend because you just don't really know what's going on, and especially for me, who I'm not really aware of the whole bullying aspect of what's going on in this situation. I just don't know enough to really make a strong opinion. So we're going to go through this. It might take a while. I haven't actually read through many of these posts at all. So I'll probably read through it and just kind of give you my point of view on what's going here. All right, so let's get started. So she points out five users. I don't recognize any of them except maybe 40 Storms. I think I've heard that name before. And she's telling that they are bullying her friend. I don't know what her friend's name is, but let's read and see where we get here. Cursed the Worst says, I've seen these players around, and I would not be surprised in the slightest if they are doing this. I am a member of a clan these people are targeting, so I'll be sure to capture screenshots if I see any behavior from them. So that's interesting. So Cursed the Worst knows, apparently, that they are bullying people. Okay. But it says, sorry to hear this. Seeing Zillow's name pop up is quite a surprise, as they're the leader of the clan I just left. Jedzia Dax is also part of the group. Another name I recognize is 4U Storms. I've raced alongside them many times and got invited to their clan. I know of them both, so it's shocking to hear that they've been doing these things. I honestly, I haven't really been participating a lot in the MMO aspect in actual School of Dragons, so I don't really know a lot about these people. I only know about them if they post on the forums or post in the School of Dragons server. So apparently they are fairly well known, and I guess it's not obvious to other people that they've been bullying, and so I think that's kind of an interesting aspect. I mean, obviously, if you're bullying, you probably want to cover it up. So I mean, there's that to it as well. Dragon Rider's Fury says, I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but why does she not just remove them from her friends list? The game won't let you visit someone who isn't on your friends list. The clan thing, why not just lock the clan down? Send it to invite only or else closed. Again, not trying to be insensitive, but the game gives you ways to deal with people like that, so why not apply them? But thanks for that. Well, that's also true, but I believe even if you remove someone from your friends list, they may not remove you from their friends list and they can still visit you. I'm not completely sure if that's true, but I know there are tons of people that have been bullied and they've never been a friend. Somehow they just can figure out and know. I think also from the clans list, you can look up a player and find their farming or something like that. I don't quote me on that, but I think that might be true. We've got another user saying, some people are able to visit Vikings regardless if they're on their friends list or not. I don't know if this has been changed, but I remember a feature where you could teleport to Vikings through searching them in their respective clans. Yeah, okay. So she points that out as well. Yeah, people don't have to be on a friends list for you to visit them. You can visit people through their clan too. Faint interest in the clans that they were let in. I'm pretty sure I've heard of that happening to other clans before. Oh, yep, that happens. That doesn't really happen quite so much in more prestigious clans because before users let in, they have to be thoroughly vetted. So this probably would happen in smaller clans, and I'm assuming that H Power's friend is the leader or co-leader of a smaller clan, in which case they don't really vet their players very much, and that's kind of one of the problems there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just pointing out here that there's plenty of friends in clan base that have turned into enemies and been bullies and stuff, and it sucks. So one of my clan leaders chats in, says they've never witnessed Fiery Storm ever bully somebody. That's interesting. I mean, I guess if if you're just upset about one person, you might try to keep it quiet and under the radar, and so obviously, and to be fair, Helpful Warrior isn't in the game like at all, so that's not saying much that they didn't witness it. But to be fair, if a lot of people are saying they haven't witnessed it, then there might be something to that. Explanator says will eventually show and speak for themselves. Yep, I agree. So, okay, so we got another user saying they have seen some people fighting, so that's interesting. We get Killjoy saying, I'm sorry to hear that your friend had to go through this. It's a shame that SCD doesn't have a proper block feature. Having seen most of these players in game, I can vouch for your friend, as I have myself noticed them to be rude troublemakers. It's a genuine shock to see Fourier Storm's name on there, though. I always thought she was a sweet person, but I guess I misjudged her. The Climates and I have had our own shares of trouble with Zello and Co. Just a few days ago, we spotted them spreading false rumors about GH and PG. Police telling friends to be safe. Okay, so that's interesting. So she's, Killjoy has seen some people, some of these people causing trouble, but apparently she has not seen Fourier Storms, and so that's very interesting. A lot of people have been saying they thought good of Fourier, and they're confused now. So that's interesting. Okay, so Zillow's clan has a bad reputation. Interesting. So yeah, another person saying they're surprised to see 4 in the list. Jedzia Dax as well. So I had a chat with Fourier, and this is what she had to say. How H Powers, I appreciate the fact you're looking out for your friend. It's really quite respectable, and I'm not sure others like myself would also want to help our friends when we can. However, slandering random players, including myself, is that really the mature thing to do? I mean, politically, I guess that's how you would go about it. But let's not make this political. Since we are putting out names, let's put your friend's name out here. Dragonborn of Shadows. Now, why would she not want her name out here? Well, because it immediately makes the claims worthless. Because as many of us players know, the leader of TNLR has been known for past drama and calling people hackers simply because she wouldn't beat them or going too fast in her eyes. Let's see how many clans she's called hackers. GH, BG, EA, UC, Limitless. Should I go on? Do you want to stand and tell me she's trustworthy? Because if you do, that means you believe all the clans mentioned above and more are hackers. Surely you don't want to go down that road. I'm not here to make drama. I'm here to defend myself and the others that sit above from slander. The only bullying I've done is to her is ignore her when she makes up faces at us in chat. If she doesn't want us to be rude to her, perhaps she should approach us in the manner she wants us to reply to her. As far as I'm aware, making a claim and backing it up with proof tends to be useful in defending so-called friends. Perhaps when the proof is accused, it would truly prompt the action of others. I'm not saying this is to prompt rude comebacks, but to make sure these lines are met first, before putting anyone's name on a list. I do know one fact enough, both Fourier and Jedzia Dax aren't hackers, even though Jen is from a former Hacker's clan. Yes, I'm bringing that back again. Spies and clans sounds quite familiar, is a common thing in the game. Actually, it is agreed that they should be taken care of as soon as possible. Blah, 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 and blah. So that's actually an interesting point. If Fourier Storms did write this, they actually did a decent job. I do think it's a very interesting point that Dragonborn of Shadows didn't want her name out there, or I'm assuming it's her. Maybe she's trying to hide something. From this post, it seems like Fourier just doesn't like to be slandered, and that's completely understandable. If someone made a post about me bullying somebody, and I don't bully people on School of Dragons, I'd be understandably upset. And if I honestly don't know enough about this to make an opinion, but if Dragonborn of Shadow has been claiming different clans were hackers, that is interesting. But then again, a lot of people do that. A lot of people have accused GH and PG especially of hacking. So, I mean, that's not saying much of anything. But the fact that she would go around doing that does mean that she does cause drama, and so that is very suspicious. So, yeah, that is interesting. We'll keep on continuing. Oh, I can vouch on the Viking spies all right. I wasn't aware of Dragonborn's allegations on calling limitless hackers. That's a new one for me, especially since I've been in her friends list for over 2 years now. I want to believe this isn't true. Does Fourier know that there are many, many players that will come to H-Power's defense, let alone one of her own friends? H-Power is a veteran of the game and has a lot of experience in the game dealing with people like that. I would agree. I think H-Power is certainly a really good person, and there's lots of people that come to her defense, including me. But I cannot come to the defense of a friend, right? H-Powers, I don't know a ton about, but I have contacted and talked a little bit. But someone like Dragonborn of Shadows, which I've only heard of a few times before this post, I can't really come to the defense because a friend of a friend is too far away for me to actually know much about that. So why doesn't Fourier come in the forums? Okay, that's interesting. Fori's been keeping track of this thread and having people deliver messages for her, and one of her friends has let us use their account a couple times to post replies, but there hasn't been any solid evidence against Shadow given. That's true, but neither has Shadow given any evidence against them. She just said they were bad, but we haven't gotten any information to prove that Fori, Storms, and her friends were bullying. At least I haven't seen any. So, I mean, it kind of goes both ways, in my opinion. Jai says, I'm not quite sure myself, honestly. Perhaps it's just due to how getting a forum account works, since sometimes it can take ages. I mean, I had a forum and a side created for me, and they didn't take too long. It only took a few days. So, I mean, I guess if this was posted and Fori didn't have an account, that could take a while, and I can understand that. But though you will certainly correct about PMs, which would be more beneficial for the forum itself, due to seeing how this state exploded. And no, I don't know who of Fori's friends is letting their aid on this, veteran or not. It appears that it doesn't quite nullify a flame war, it seems. Now, did Jai post ahead? Oh, this was Jai that talked with Fori. That's interesting, because I know Jai very well. Jai has been involved in some intrigue and drama in the past, though not a ton. That makes sense. Okay, that's a very interesting turn of events. I didn't notice the name. I never intended for this thread to turn into drama. Was how about a friend? And I know H Powers had a good heart, but any time that you post something bad, like that someone's bullying about other people, especially in SOD, there's going to be drama, because that's just how things go. So I would say, yeah, she didn't intend to, but she's got to have known it was going to cause drama. Like, that's just a given. But anyways, here we go. Another person. I'm going to be very neutral about this. I'm sorry for the player who's suffering from the bullying. I can make you guess that was Born of Shadows, leader of the Nightlight Racers. Secondly, I seem to know that Ella is actually Lola, a person who's a drama queen. Although I have never talked to her before, I have seen her in the past starting out drama out of nowhere. Where the first being that she said she was not touching any EA members and that she was giving friend requests to them for a while. And second being that she is exaggerating the whole situation to make clan leader Jan to kick someone at EA for hacking. I'm not going to say anything about firing Froggy because I don't know them. Finally, regarding Zillow, who's my friend for a long period of time, to start off, I've known the rumors he said that his clan points and rankings were frozen due to Nightlight Racers hacking his clan because they seemed to hate him and his clan. I've told him before that it was not true and just let it go because all the clans faced this issue at the time. It took me a really long time to convince him, but he finally acknowledged it, so I think that that should be over. In fact, regarding Killjoy's point, he told me on a side account about him corresponding with GH and PG, and that if his clan Forever Gone, or FG for short, that if they got to top 10, the clan leaderboard and GH and PG will ally with them, and he wants to hard grind trophies. I have no idea if this is true or not. As that time, blah, 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 blah. To end off, I would like to reiterate H Power's point that if you're facing a bullying wrong, please go, okay. That's interesting. It's so funny how everybody seems to know a different person. Like this person doesn't seem to know Firing Froggy, but they know Zillow, which is interesting. And it appears that Zillow has had some experience with drama and stuff in the past. So that's interesting. We got Jan. I feel the need to add a comment to this thread. This is my opinion loud chatter on SOD. I believe some of you may have come across her. I'm familiar with the fact that she has multiple side accounts and that she might be that Ella person, but what's more important is the backstory for a not so long lasting relationship with Ethereal Aura. A few months ago, while Clan was highly active, she was added to the clan. Not so long after, a chat clan was caught her writing a chat about how she's planning to hack into someone's account. Interesting. I've often raced with Jedzia Dax, but we'd never chat. Regarding the last player, Super Happy Froggy, so it is a well-known player who provokes drama. Okay, there's even evidence of his behavior, and I can easily put them here. The player's behavior was targeted to one of my friends who ended up in SOD because he was a fan of this player. I wrote him to contact us support. I don't know anything about the rest of the players. I'm sorry that there are... Okay, this is a very interesting link. I think I'll check it afterwards. Let me copy it really quick here. I didn't know about Super Heavy Froggy, to be honest, but that's interesting. At least someone seems to know it, and we can look at the evidence later. Thank you for your support, everyone. True, that's what Jai said in Fori's message to me. To be quite honest, I expected the foreign players to get involved. That's what usually happens when people get reported for their behavior. There's a reason why Shadow didn't want her name. She was afraid of bullying. I completely understand this. As far as the claim that she's caused drama and called people in clan hackers because she couldn't beat them, I don't believe that. I've raced Shadow many times, and she's a very good racer. She always does really well, and she isn't a sore loser. Me and her just had to talk the other day about how we enjoy racing with each other. I'd like to take a moment to mention something that I forgot to mention in my initial post and for his outrageous comment and Zarian talking about Zello and co spreading false rumors jogged my memory. The reported people are always spreading lies and rumors about Shadow to try to turn people against her. Sometimes they feel very much believe Furry comments an obvious attempt at trying to turn people against Shadow. Just so Furry knows, I do say that Shadow is trustworthy, and no, that doesn't mean that I believe all those clan mentioned are hackers. I believe in those clans, and I know that they don't hack. Target the victim when no one else can see it, so if they do speak up, then the bullies can say that you have no proof. I'm not going to see Shadow bullied and lied to. Okay, so that's just interesting. So apparently H Powers is very very protective of the friend and thinks that she isn't anything and that the hacker and the drama claims are untrue. At this point, there's just no evidence around. I haven't seen any, so it's really hard to make an actual point about Fori and about Shadow. I just haven't been around enough to know exactly what's going on. I haven't experienced any of this bullying myself, and there seems to be a lot of back and forth. Just as a default, I tend to agree more with H Powers because I know I didn't trust H Powers. But as I said before, a friend of a friend that's kind of gets pretty far away to make an actual thing, and I don't really want to assign any blame to anybody without actually knowing the facts, and I don't know the facts yet, so I don't know what to say yet. But I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense from both point of views. One would be upset for being slandered if they don't think they were bullying another, and they'd want to point out the drama another, and then Dragonborn being upset about the bullies and slandering them. So I mean, what can I say? From 4 Storms, we got another Blanca. Okay, maybe it's like a side account or something. Apologies, you didn't think my comment was modest enough. And it was well of you to expect us to get involved, seeing as you make claims with no real proof other than a friend who you believe is trustworthy and honest told you so. Yes, I'd say this is one of the biggest deals. This is not a slam at all against H Powers, but I want to see proof, people. I want to see proof from both sides. I'm not seeing proof from anybody's side. And I'm going to look at that YouTube video hopefully soon here, but I want to see proof. If you're going to make a claim like that, I want to see proof. And I know it's hard to get proof because if it's truly bullying and it's truly behind closed doors, then it's going to be hard to get proof. But I mean, I feel like you shouldn't go slandering if there isn't really proof, especially on a public forums. But what can I say? I'm not doubting you believe she is honest. It's just the fact that that is verily the case. One should have the means to believe a claim based on secondhand information from one person, especially when one has zero proof. Right? And I have third-hand information. You say it's because she claims we supposedly do it when no one is around, but anyone can make that claim. What makes hers more believable than anyone else's? Beelzebub could come to me and say, Shadows bullies me. I don't have proof, but that's because no one is around when it happens. And if I told you all that, would you not want the proof? Or would you be fine with it if I reassure you all it's the truth because I trust Beel and know how honest she is? If you say that you don't need proof and you wouldn't believe it, then where exactly does the line get drawn? Should I just start blindly believing every claim thrown at us because a friend thinks highly of them? Your similar comment obviously is trying to get people to turn on Shadow. I can vouch that Jedza though is a nice person and personally couldn't see them bullying Shadow, or have a reason to bully her for that matter. Happy Foggy Ella and Zillow. Perhaps that's because 1, I've been inactive for months up until a few weeks before Thofus. 2, I stay in TRR, pop out in TG for battles and farm. 3, I only talk to clanmates and maybe a friend like Jedza if I run across them. 4, I haven't bullied anyone before. That's interesting. So Firestorms is making a huge... Is it 4 or Fire? I don't know. Anyways, I'm making a huge claim here that they have not bullied at all. And we're getting from Dragonborn that they have. So there is a direct contradictory here, and I don't know what to believe. I can also mention that I lead a fairly successful top clan of amazing people. Why would I bully Shadow? It wouldn't gain anything for me. She told so Dragonborn told people for months that Fiery Storm's hacked. That's interesting. I don't know what to say about that. Okay, these are interesting screenshots. Here's some actual proof. Like this, I mean, unless they photoshopped this, which I don't think they did. But, um, I mean, I wouldn't say it's incriminating hardly at all at Dragonborn of Shadows, but it does seem very weird, this conversation here. Getting almost as bad and stuff. That is suspicious. I would say that kind of puts her in a bad light. Okay. Okay, making accusations. Okay. Okay, so it's getting thick. I mean, I honestly, this is just is confusing me, deeply. And I'm someone that kind of does my research, but there's a lot of good points from both sides. We're seeing some interesting proof screenshots. That is interesting. It appears the Dragonborn of Shadows is contributing to the drama, right? If you truly wanted to stay out of the drama and stop being bullied, you would just stop saying stuff. But keeps on going on about accusing her bullies of accusing her, and they're trying to defend themselves, which is to be understandable. I also want to point out H. Power said above that she knew that Fiery Storms and friends would reply, and yet she also said that she didn't want to start drama. And so that seems kind of interesting to me. If you knew the drama was going to begin, but you didn't want to cause drama, it doesn't matter if you don't want to cause drama. If you know you're going to cause drama, you're going to cause drama. So, I mean, okay. This was a lot of double, triple posts. Okay. Goonie Bart says, "Hi there. I'm sorry to hear your friend has experienced bullying. Apply ticket, blah, blah, blah." Thank you, Goonie. Man, I have been missing a moderator on the School of Dragons forums. It's so good to have someone finally step in. My goodness. Including old screenshots that don't really prove anything. Okay, so she's just kind of going on about stuff. She doesn't believe the screenshots or the screenshots don't really make any. I would agree with her. I don't really think the screenshots are too convicting of anything. But Dragonborn did say some interesting things. Dang, that's long. It has a lot to say. I honestly don't want to read the entire thing. Well, I mean, it makes sense that she can't get all the details straight. If she gets bullied a lot, I mean, I wouldn't be able to remember all the details. That's interesting to note. Um, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's interesting. Helpful War is bringing up an interesting point that Firestorms isn't actually using a main account and it's using a bunch of friends and side accounts and stuff to apply. That's interesting. That is interesting. Um, I would say to Helpful Warrior, don't get involved in another clan, another person's drama, in my opinion, because that's just going to make BG a target, and BG is already a target sometimes. So I'm not sure if I would have made this post, but that is an interesting point for sure. I I don't know what to say about this. I don't feel like getting informed count is that hard, so I would say that's kind of eh. Okay. Oh, okay. So she finally got her account. Here we go. Here we go. Um, okay, that's interesting. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it could obviously if she didn't have an account before, and then H Power's post is gonna take a while to get her account. So that makes sense, I guess. I guess that makes sense. Um, okay, so we're done here. We're done here. I honestly don't know what to say. There was a lot of interesting stuff here, but not a lot of proof for either side, and so I really don't. I mean, with just as amount of information I can't really make any concrete decisions. I would say I would caution any viewers to make before they make any decisions about this. I would say be on the lookout for sure in case any of these users are bullying. But I would say from this I cannot make any real decision. There's a lot of intrigue, bullying, lies. That just is in SOD. Every clan, every person, there is some amount of that, and I just don't know if you can really make any sort of idea about that. I mean, it's just that's how it goes. So, anyways, all right, that's all for now. I'm gonna go quickly check out the proof video. All right, guys. So I just quickly looked through the video. It's kind of long, and I'm kind of tired out from this long talk, so I'm not gonna show it. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and liking. I want to get my YouTube channel to start blowing up, so please consider doing that. It helps me a lot, and I got some awesome more videos coming in the future months and weeks. So please consider subscribing, liking, and getting those notifications. This is Kaizar Sneak, and we will talk later.